Imagine this. You stir as the first light touches the horizon. No buzzing phone, no urgent to-do list. Just the cool air, the distant call of birds, and the quiet awareness that your group is waking around you. For hundreds of thousands of years, this was the ordinary beginning of a human day. Not a frantic rush, but a gentle alignment with the world waking up. Today, many of us feel disconnected from that rhythm. So what can understanding our ancestors' mornings teach us about our own minds and well-being? Hello, and welcome to PsycheChronicler. I'm so glad you're here with me for this reflective exploration. In this video, we're stepping back in time to discover what a normal morning actually looked like for our hunter-gatherer ancestors. We'll explore how those early rhythms shaped human psychology, our energy, attention, emotions, and sense of connection. Grounded in anthropological studies and psychological insights, we'll see how these patterns still echo in us today, and how reclaiming small pieces of them can deepen our self-awareness and daily peace. By the end, you might look at your own mornings with fresh curiosity. Let's begin. Our ancestors didn't have clocks, but they had something more reliable: the sun. Research on contemporary hunter-gatherer groups like the Hadza of Tanzania, the Ju, Honski-San, and the Tsimane reveals a consistent pattern. People typically woke in the hour before or around sunrise. Sleep onset came a few hours after sunset, but awakening was more anchored to the morning light. This wasn't rigid. Sleep was flexible and often segmented. Groups experienced periods of quiet wakefulness during the night, with different people stirring at different times, an evolutionary safeguard where someone was usually alert to potential dangers. The poorly sleeping grandparent, or sentinel hypothesis, suggests this variation in chronotypes helped keep the whole community safer. Psychologically, this alignment with natural light supported strong circadian rhythms. Morning light helped regulate hormones like cortisol for gentle alertness and melatonin for better rest later. In contrast, our modern artificial lights can delay this natural cue, leaving us fighting against our biology. Think about it. How often do we override that first light with screens or heavy curtains? Our ancestors' mornings invited a natural rise in awareness, fostering a calm, present mindset right from the start. Once awake, there was no immediate breakfast rush. Food wasn't guaranteed or scheduled. Mornings often began with quiet assessment, listening for animals, checking the environment, ensuring the group's safety. Then came movement, walking, foraging nearby, or preparing tools. Men and women often divided tasks, but both involved substantial natural physical activity. Studies of groups like the Hadza showed daily distances of several kilometers, mixing walking with varied efforts like digging tubers or carrying loads. This wasn't exhausting exercise, but integrated life movement in nature. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman's work on attention and System 1 thinking reminds us how our minds evolved for this kind of environment: rapid, intuitive awareness of surroundings rather than constant abstract planning. In uncertain ancestral settings, this presence honed practical wisdom and emotional regulation. Many of us feel the pull of this in a morning walk or moment in nature. It grounds our nervous system, reducing the low-level anxiety that comes from disconnected, sedentary starts. A small insight here: even 5 minutes of mindful movement or sunlight upon waking can echo this ancestral pattern and shift our mood. Mornings were deeply social. Small bands of 20 to 100 people lived closely. Waking together meant checking in, sharing observations, planning the day's foraging or hunting with input from the group. Laughter, stories, and cooperation weren't luxuries. They were survival skills and sources of meaning. Anthropologist James Sussman's observations of Ju, Honski life highlight how these groups balanced effort with leisure and strong social ties, often working far fewer hours on direct food acquisition than we assume, with much time for connection. From a psychological lens, Researcher Lisa Feldman Barrett's work on emotional granularity and constructed emotions shows how context and social interaction shape how we feel. In these mornings, emotions arose in a rich, relational environment, not isolated product. This fostered emotional intelligence through shared presence. Contrast that with many modern solitary scrolling sessions. Our minds crave this communal rhythm. Isolation in the morning can amplify stress, while brief connection, a real conversation or shared moment, builds resilience. Our brains and bodies still carry these ancestral expectations. Mornings synced with light and movement support better focus, mood stability, and emotional balance. The absence of constant urgency allowed space for reflection amid practical action, a balance many of us seek. Of course, life wasn't idyllic. Challenges like scarcity or threats existed. Yet the overall flow offered a different relationship with time and effort, less chronic busyness, more attuned responsiveness. This nuance reminds us that reclaiming elements isn't about romanticizing the past, but understanding our wiring for empowerment. Here are some gentle, actionable insights to carry with you. Honor natural light. Step outside or open curtains soon after waking to support your circadian rhythm and mental clarity. Move with presence. Replace rushed starts with a short walk or mindful stretching. It echoes the integrated movement our bodies expect. Cultivate connection. Begin the day with a moment of real interaction, with family, a friend, or even quiet gratitude for your own inner community. Embrace flexibility. Allow some natural variation in your rhythms rather than rigid perfection. Our ancestors thrived with adaptability. Create space for assessment. Before diving into tasks, take a breath to notice your environment and internal state. Remember social roots. Prioritize relationships as a foundation for emotional well-being. As we close this exploration, consider how these ancestral mornings whisper an invitation to live more in tune with the natural world and our own human design. Not by rejecting modernity, but by weaving in small threads of that ancient wisdom, light, movement, connection, presence. In doing so, we nurture greater self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and a quieter mind amid life's complexities. Here's a short journaling prompt for you. What would a more ancestral-inspired morning look and feel like for me? What one small shift feels nourishing right now? Take a few moments with this in the coming days. Notice what arises. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the human mind. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a new exploration of the human mind. Until next time, may your mornings bring you gentle awareness and quiet strength. Take care.